Hello and welcome to the Big Train Baseball Network. We've got a matchup here between the championship favorites as the 20-9 Olney Cropdusters take on the 21-9, Big Train. A matchup that will determine who's in first place in the league and in command of that first place spot. Each team gets a bye. It won't matter either way, but we'll have to see. I'm Carson Cass with Zach Lewis on the Big Train Baseball Network. How are you?
I'm doing well. Excited to have you back tonight, and we're a big matchup tonight against what will be determining the first place team, and it will prove really crucial in this league, and just a game where both teams are going to come out firing as quick as they can.
Yeah, we'll have to see. The Cropdusters, pretty good matchups against the Big Train. July 3rd, we saw them at their place. Big Train took a pretty big win. They took first place in the league and have not given it back since. We'll kind of curious to see just how that's going to work out here tonight with a pretty interesting lineup for our side and well as their side, but we'll take a look at the Cropdusters side first. Zakai Hawkins to lead things off with Ryan Booma, the designated hitter, behind. Cade Walter, Landon Springmeyer make up the 3-4 spot with Maximus Waring, Patrick Gosden, Donis Rodriguez, Cade Ahiren, and Brian Scott. Each of those members have seen the Big Train other than Ahiren, so we'll have a pretty familiar lineup as we go to the defense now.
Yeah, I just looked at the defense just a second ago. It's a pretty familiar looking defense as well. Pretty much the strongest starting team for the Big Train here. In the outfield, we have Ryan Fiscola in left. Center field is Will Hack. Right field, Zachary Malvazio. In the infield, first base, Emilio Gonzalez. Second base is Kieran Coleman. Shortstop, Cal Johnson, with third base being Logan Panette tonight. The battery will be TJ Gramesty, and the man on the mound for the Big Train, Bryce Dolby. We'll take a look at our pitcher, Bryce Dolby, when we're back from break after the anthem.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. I'm Carson Cass with Zach Lewis. We've got a pretty interesting mound set up here, but only coming into this one on a 3-game win streak, 20-9, and Bethesda 21-9 game record as they entered tonight with a 1-game win streak after a win yesterday, and a pretty good shot all around. They've done a fantastic job fighting in this conference for a pretty good spot in the North in the Montgomery Cup, but more especially in the league. That one seed still maintained. Bryce Dolby will be the starter here for tonight. Be interesting to see how he can pair up, try and give these Big Train back on top with another win after yesterday's matchup. Only a 3-game win streak coming into today. Have not lost a game since that matchup on Friday of last week other than one. They're doing their best to get into this one, but Dolby, the all-star selection, the only starting all-star for Bethesda. He'll enter tonight. It'll be another start for him. Cal State Bakersfield commit. He's got an outside shot at getting drafted the rest of the day. I don't think he will, but he's got a pretty good sinker. It's big league stuff for this guy. 7th start of the year, 20 innings pitched so far, Zach. He's got a pretty good moniker and record all around.
Well, I really do believe that the Big Train selected their very best lineup for this game tonight. Definitely one that has been starred on the calendars of the coaching staff. Dolby has played in 6 games, started all of them, 20 innings pitched and 20 strikeouts there. ERA of 3.6 and a whip of 1.4, so has been probably the most consistent starter for the Big Train this season and pitched in some really big innings for this team.
Dolby's last start out was against the Olney Cropdusters. In that 7-inning matchup, he had a pretty good one. Went 4, I believe. No, excuse me, his last time out was Sam's. But coming in today, he's got 6 innings, 6 starts, obviously, we mentioned, now approaching on 7. We will see just how he can do because he's been very good. That sinker has been well placed. Only did get all over it in his 2nd start of the year against them, though. That was the time that he kind of had them all over it.
Yeah, he definitely has a very good array of pitches. The first time he did see the Cropdusters, as mentioned, he left his sinker in the zone a few too many times and kind of paid the price for it just a little bit. But since that game has found a lot more consistency, making sure that slider drops out of the zone at the last second. It's been a lot harder for anybody to find a base hit on him since that. His commitment to new college there in California as well this season has kind of propelled him to a very good season here where he got important reps this summer.
So Lisa Kai Hawkins leading things off. University of New Mexico commit the Lobo will have the first at-bat, and he gets hit in the head, a plunk that gets all the way out of the ballpark and lands in the merge section. As pretty interesting start there. Zakai Hawkins' 8th hit by pitch. He does not get out of the way too much. He's accepting pretty much always that he's going to get hit and get on. It's a second year for Olney, and he's been very good this season with a 747 OPS at the leadoff spot. That is, I think, a tick up now.
Yeah, that's definitely good for him in terms of his on-base percentage, but maybe Big Train want to be careful not to put too much fire underneath these only Cropdusters early in the game. Obviously, lots of games between them has been tension-filled, and don't want to give the team too much to kind of light a fire under them too early and kind of give them that early momentum. Probably being careful there. 2 straight pickoff attempts before he throws a pitch to the next batter up for the Cropdusters.
Ryan Buma, one of the all-stars in this lineup, as well as Springmeyer in the 4-hole, but notably no Andrew Duncan. Pinch hit yesterday. Got a 2-run double in that pinch hit opportunity. Was 1 for 1 in the night as that pitch misses outside to Buma. Highest we've seen him bat. A few games against the Big Train. In June, on the 17th, he had a 2-for-5, 2 RBI day with a 2-run homer. That one outside to him, and quickly a 2-0 count from Dolby.
Dolby hasn't thrown a strike yet tonight. Hit his first batter. That ball had a lot of velocity as it came off the helmet and all the way up and over the screen, protecting the fans.
Pitch missing again, quickly into a 3-0 count.
A little bit of an uncharacteristic start, obviously. It's only 4 pitches so far from Dolby, but he's been very controlled in his last outings, and this one not so much so far.
That one in there, so he's got a strike on his tally finally after 4 straight balls, one of which obviously an action pitch that hit him. But entering tonight, man, on the other side, Logan Hartman. Will be interesting to see these two men duel. Obviously an all-star battery matchup with a all-star catcher for both sides, as well as this one is popped up on the infield. Very all-star in the outfield. Gramesty, who's catching tonight, is able to get there. And there is another. There's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, good job by Gramesty to get underneath it there. Good play there. Helps get an out.
Brings Cade Walter to the plate, St. Cloud, Florida native out of Jacksonville. Second year with Olney. Posted a 934 OPS last season. He's got himself a 981 this year. I think one of the all-star snubs for sure. Lefty batter now through 23 games has been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been a really great player, and as you mentioned, didn't quite get the all-star mention there, but has brought a lot of energy into this lineup for the Cropdusters, who are definitely neck and neck with the Big Train this season. They started out a lot hotter than the Big Train and had their number in the first couple of games. The Big Train fought back well and went on a 10-game win streak, snapped by the Southern Maryland Senators 2 nights ago here. Cropdusters now pretty much even. If they win this game, they will go into first place. If Big Train win, they'll be a game and a half ahead.
Yeah, half game back for Olney. If they win, they'll be half a game up. As Big Train will fall to 21-10. Olney will be 21-9. 1-1. Pitch outside, and quickly, Cade Walter will watch a pitch go the other way. It's his second time for Dolby through this side of Olney. He's not pitched against them yet this season, apart from one start. There's 5 other ones not against them. As a big wave at that one, quickly a 2-2 count. Got him on a fastball as the line.
Big Train were able to bounce back from their loss to the Senators with a win against the Aces last night. Kind of a strange game that ended with a lightning delay with 1 out left in the bottom of the 7th, but a 9-0 was the score when that one ended up being delayed and eventually counted as a win for the Big Train.
Pitch misses low. We'll have a full count here. Excuse me. Dolby did go versus Olney. I thought he did. Twice. So July 1st as well, he also had an appearance against the Olney Cropdusters. That was his last time out. I was confusing it with the July 3rd matchup. He went 4 innings in that one. This season he's seen 7 innings. They've got 9 hits, and there is potentially a 10th. Yes, it is, against him. And 2 runners on very quickly as the 3-2 is driven into right for a base hit.
Well, it's a good base hit, as you mentioned, for Cade Walter there. Gets down just in front of Malvasio in right and in a perfect spot in order to advance his guy Hawkins to second base as well. Runner in scoring position now for the Cropdusters, who do a good job getting ahead early in games and bringing the pressure with their bats, especially with this top of the lineup.
Dolby a 3.6 ERA this season, but 5.1 versus the Cropdusters. Out of his 8 earned runs, 4 of them have been conceded to Olney, as that one is in there. Strike 1 to the all-star Springmeyer. He's been slumping a bit as of late, but it's been all right recently. His last game out, he had a hit and a walk. The 0-1, still got an OPS over 1,000, which is how good the start of his year was. At the time of all-star selections, his OPS was 1,200.
Yeah, I mean, that's really someone who has been effective from all aspects of his game. Dolby does a good job. He gets himself ahead in this count. The first pitch is a really nice one on kind of the outside portion of the zone, maybe kind of to the bottom corner of it.
0-2. Got him looking. Good fastball on the outside. Catches Springmeyer, and another strikeout. That's 14 on the year compared to just 12 hits. Been a 3 true outcomes guy, as it brings Maximus Waring, the Rutgers commit, to the plate.
Well, Dolby lets a couple past him there in terms of a hit by pitch and a hit as well from Walter, but doesn't really get worked up and gets himself to 2 outs quickly here, and now has an opportunity to limit the damage here and not let anyone score for the Cropdusters.
Big swing as Gramesty will try and get the runner at second. It's a great deke over there at second base, and Walter has a stolen bag. He dodges out of the way. They're upset about it, and, I mean, that was a great dodge all around.
It was, I believe, kind of what happened as second baseman, I believe it's Cal Johnson on there tonight, it is, thought he had the tag, was confused how, I believe his hand actually gets caught up on the base for a second, and that actually makes it so the tag isn't quite in time. Cal Johnson can't believe it.
Yeah, it's a great move with his hand. He kind of dodges out of the way of the tag. He was a little bit on the slide as that pitch outside to Waring. So stolen bag for Walter, as well as Hawkins now over there at third. So second and third with 2 outs for Waring. The Rutgers commit, as we mentioned, out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Joins the other Rutgers commit, Sweeney Strawberry. 1-1 and throw back to third. It gets away from Panette. Runner will go to the plate, but there is also a runner coming to third. This time they get him. Did he score in time? Yes, he did. So a 1-0 lead for the Cropdusters. An error, scoring 1 run there, but Waring will have another chance at the plate as the third out is Walter on his way to third. We'll be right back on the Big Train Baseball Network. 1-0 only. So Logan Hartman, the all-star from St. John's, Florida, will have hit the mound tonight for Olney. He'll play battery with a little Springmeyer behind, but we'll go through the Big Train lineup very quickly first.
For the Big Train, leading off is Cal Johnson, been leadoff man in quite a few games recently after him. Brennan Wright, Emilio Gonzalez, Zachary Malvazio, Ryan Fiscolo, Logan Panett, TJ Gramsty, Kieran Coleman, and Will Hack will close out the bottom of the lineup.
So Hartman, we saw him on the 3rd of July. That was his last time out. Good outing for him altogether. He actually did give up his only earned run this season. It was a tough matchup for him as Emilio Gonzalez's first home run of the year, a solo shot, was the only earned run he gave up. He left the ball game after the 5th, 1-1. He was struggling during that game with the heat, but he really battled well. Had a fantastic game versus Bethesda. Maybe not of his caliber, but well within the caliber that they needed to win a game. And, well, they didn't get the win there in July 3rd due to a pretty good inning he was not a part of as Johnson lifts this one down the line foul. Pretty well struck, but 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, and a strikeout in that appearance. Can't say he was responsible for the loss.
No, and go back to that July 3rd matchup, really and touching on the humidity, I talked to the only broadcaster, Ali, about kind of his playing there and how he was doing, and he said Hartman will most likely go 5 or more innings tonight as the humidity will not be as much of a factor, and so they expect a long start from their all-star pitcher tonight.
Hartman only 9 hits allowed the entire season, as well as 8 walks as the 2-1 misses out, or excuse me, just gets in the zone on the outside portion of the plate. It's a good pitch, upper outside fastball. Hartman out of Jacksonville, 2-2. Righty delivers to Johnson. Saws this one off to left side, collected by Gosden for the first, and I guess that is a pretty good segue to our defensive lineup. Scott, Walter, and Waring will make up the outfield, left, center, and right, respectively, with Zakai Hawkins and Donis Rodriguez making the men up the middle. Patrick Gosden at third, Kata Heron at first, and Landon Springmeyer will take the battery with Hartman tonight. Big Train, a combined singular hit, I believe, against Hartman this season was that home run. 2 hits this season against Hartman. One of them was that home run. Another one was a single in the first at Olney. This one hit foul off the bat of the next all-star in this lineup, Brennan Wright.
Yeah, Wright has been a go-to leader in this team consistently throughout the season, and really urging his team to not just care about the stats and just not only about improvements, but also about winning again, and has instilled that mentality as he does get that one.
Well, struck into center, but Walter is there. And we talked about that, the ability to grow on the skill of winning, I think is the best way to put that. Guys who are used to winning tend to contribute to winning culture more. They know how they fit into those locker rooms, and every locker room is different, but winning starts at the bottom. It starts with good communication. It starts with a team that is all together. And I think when you practice winning like you do at the summer collegiate ball level, it's often guys who are going to continue to win at the highest level.
Absolutely. Tim Kirchin on our all-star broadcast this year talks about how scouts often think about, okay, well, I don't care about your stats. How did you do in your high school season? How did you do in your college season? Did you win championships? And they want guys who have won. And so proving that you're a winner, even if it's summer ball, is really important for these players who are looking to improve potentially draft stock or transfer portal status.
Yeah, and it's that time of year, obviously, the MLB draft going on right now as the 0-2. Now to Emilio Gonzalez, the designated hitting all-star, and he'll miss outside. Homered off of Hartman this season, but one thing the White Sox were looking at that number 1 overall pick is they really liked Rock Chalowski's competitiveness. They really liked that he wanted to win. He succeeded at all levels. He's contributed to winning teams at all levels, and he wants to win, and that was something they liked. 1-2, missed outside, so 2 straight curveballs that can't find the zone for Hartman.
Yeah, I think some of the older folks involved in baseball maybe feel like winning has started to matter less to players, and it's become a more individual sport. But you have to remember, I mean, you know, you have lots of individual moments, but baseball is a team sport, and it's about winning as a team.
Gonzalez flies this one into left. It'll be a survival swing as it lands foul. Gonzalez last time out against Olney. 1-4-2. He walked against Hartman in the first. Hartman struggled with him, ground out in a 3-2 count, and then a homer before Hartman left that game. 2-2. Righty delivers, and the fastball, he's just behind it, crushes it foul.
Well, we talked to Gonzalez early in the season a little bit about feeling like his timing was off, specifically on the fastball. I think after that home run he hit on Hartman, he has been a lot better with his timing. So maybe that kind of being a spark plug for his hitting.
Ground ball right side, going to be a tough play for Ahern, but he is able to get it over to Hartman. No runs, no hits. They go up 3. They go down 3. Big Train will move now to the top of the second. Olney maintain their 1-0 lead. Cropdusters trying to fly by into the lead of the North Division.
Thank you very much. Every night at Big Train Baseball, we honor this organization.
So we mentioned the draft. Chris Hakiopian was the highest ever, tied for the highest ever Big Train draft pick yesterday. Round 1, pick 11 of the Nationals. He stays home. Texas A&M second baseman. As well in the first round, or second round, also went Andrew Williamson, a Big Train class of 24 member. Brett Renfro, brother of Big Train legend, who's number 11, is retired here. Hunter, he went in the second round of the Twins. Big Train alum from last year, Kaid Atui, I believe, actually, is left-hander out of FAU, former Big Train member, went to the 7th round of the Red Sox. Artisan VC, Cubs in the 11th round, former Big Train, obviously. Griffin Stieg, a Pirate out of VT. And Chris Diaz as well, a Mariner out of Florida Gulf Coast, as well as Dean Toyago out of Arizona State. All the guys drafted so far from former Big Train teams. Nobody on this team yet drafted. That's because there's a uniquely young roster, and as there is most years, a lot of guys get their first stop here before going to leagues like the Cape Cod or the Northwoods.
It was a pretty young roster that we have here this year, but lots of success from former years. The Big Train obviously has been a top team, probably the top team in this league for several years. And in probably, you rank it in the 3 to 5 range as far as summer collegiate ball leagues in the summer each year.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. You see a lot of guys. I mean, this year I think the reason we don't see anybody drafted, because the talent we have is this one's line just over the glove of Gonzalez. It's going to get down as Maximus Waring takes a 1-2 ball into the deep reaches of right field, and a standing double earned in that moniker.
Well, it's another good hit. Cropdusters attacking Dolby early. Don't want to get behind counts to him, so instead are making good contact off of Dolby's speed there. That one gets past the tall frame of Gonzalez there and into the first base right-hand side.
What I was going to say is there's actually only 2 draft-eligible players on this entire roster. I guess 3. You could draft Aaron Rittenauer, but he does not have that kind of caliber of player, they believe, just yet. Dolby is one of them, as well as, I believe, Bradley Gagan, as well as maybe Jack Gagan, technically, but he's already committed to Norfolk State. He's committed to playing college ball. We'll see if Dolby does get selected. It'd be interesting. Could be a later round pick.
Yeah, there's a couple guys who are maybe
right up the
future
middle,
thoughts.
and it's going to get down. Excuse me. Waring going to stop at third. Quickly runners at the corners. Some difficulty now, and quickly into a tough spot as the lineup now goes down to Donis Rodriguez from Patrick Gosden's single.
It's not a great start from Dolby so far. Really atypical of him, who has been very, very good. Obviously an all-star for the Big Train, as well as just their most consistent starter, and a little off the mark so far tonight.
Apologies. Draft's over. Just ended a few minutes ago. As that one's missed, ball 1. It did just end. But pretty interesting. I love the draft. I think it's a lot of fun opportunities to get to know players that are fun that may not make the majors, but you get a lot. As Donis Rodriguez hits one over the right side, Gonzalez will just go for the out. They are comfortable giving up the run in the first out of the inning as Rodriguez scores Waring on a fielder's choice.
Well, it's a very good sacrifice there, knowing you probably going to have to put yourself on the line to bring someone home, and he does exactly that there. Gonzalez gets the out via the tag. Lead doubles for Cropdusters, who now lead 2-0 in the top of the second.
Big swing and a miss from Kata Hearn. Lehigh two-way player. Has only played first this season, though, for Olney. 9 games, a 786 OPS as he's walked half of his at-bats. Well, half of his plate appearances, excuse me. 500 OBP, and he's hit the other section there. So, in his then 16 plate appearances, or 32 plate appearances, he has been on in 16 of them, as now the 1-1, that one missing inside. He is a rising junior there out of Woodbine, Maryland. Second year for the Cropdusters. 1-1, excuse me, third year for the Cropdusters. No one missing high. Hearn has not seen the Big Train staff yet. This is his 10th appearance of the year. 2-1. Ground ball right side. It's tough. Gonzalez bobbles it twice, but he does come up with it on the third try. Quickly maneuvers it, and there's the second out. Runner will move over from second to third as Gosden, and pretty good scoring position for Brian Scott, the man who returned from injury on July 1st, a 4th year now on the Cropdusters for Scott.
Well, it's nice to have a returner like Scott in the lineup and in here now, and an opportunity to bring even more runs in for the Cropdusters. Gonzalez, a little bobble there, but still able to deliver the out, and so 2 outs now for the Big Train.
First pitch missed. Just outside. Dolby trying to collect himself again here. Trying to replicate the good start he had last time out. 2 earned runs, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts versus the Cropdusters on July 1st. 3-1, poked into right field. It'll get down for a base hit. An RBI single for Brian Scott. And there's a sigh of relief for him. That is his 3rd RBI of the year, but 2nd hit.
Well, the hitting has been contagious for these Cropdusters here in the inning, doing a good job there to drive contact that gets down right in front of Malvasio in right field there and bring his runner home. Scott sits on first base with a single that he will be very happy to see.
New Mexico native Zakai Hawkins up. Played his last 2 years at Utah. We talked earlier about how he's a New Mexico Lobo. We didn't get a quick chance to talk about him because he was struck in the head by the first pitch of the game. He was well okay. That was a changeup that hit him in the helmet, and he jogged right on over to first. So 1-0. That one missing, or excuse me, just got in there. I think a little bit high for the like of Hawkins, and our angle made makes those outside pitches to lefties very difficult to see.
A little too far to the right of the batter. See exactly where that one ends up, but
throw gets down as that one going to get almost into the outfield. Saved by the shortstop Johnson as Coleman at second today can't come up with the throw. It's a pitch in the other's batter's box, bounces on the chalk. Good collection from Gramercy to try and make a play on it, but Coleman can't, and it's a stolen base for Scott.
Gramercy frustrated with himself there. It's the second kind of missed throw of the night. Obviously a tough position there, but he's just getting a little personally frustrated with himself. But he's a player who will bounce back very well and continue to provide quality performances even throughout a little bit of a rocky start for the Big Train defense in this one.
Leads this league in runners caught stealing. 3-1 from Dolby. Missed high, and he is going to walk him. So, another runner on quickly as the designated hitter all-star as well, Ryan Booma to the plate. Popped out in the first inning.
Booma been a big player for the Cropdusters. Another one of their all-stars on this roster who has had 74 at-bats for them this season and turned around an OPS of a little over 1,000. So really good season for Booma.
3 years at Frostburg State. He's going into his final year there. Career at 900 OPS and a career 500 slug in his 3 seasons. So been very good. As that one just outside. 2-0 count quickly. Dolby unhappy with that call. This one lined into center field, and Hack will get there for the third out of the inning. We'll be right back after 2 runs from Olney. Puts them up 3-0 on the Big Train Baseball Network.
Thank you very much. Our second community hero group of the night is the Rosenwald family. But what would you...
So welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. If you're curious about the early game, Silver Spring Tacoma down 7-15 to the Gaithersburg Giants in the top of the ninth. They'll have to accumulate 8 runs, as well as the Metro South County Braves in the Cal Ripken Senior League Game of the Week. They are up 11-4. It's for a spot, that final spot in the playoffs, as they are fighting down at the bottom to try and keep themselves in a better seat. One of them will get a bye if you get the 3-4, and they're fighting for that 4 seed. 1 and 2 get 2 byes. 3 and 4 get 1 bye, I believe, and 5, 6, 7, 8 will all play each other in the first round. As first pitch missing to Zach Malvazio. All-star right fielder grounds 1 to short, collected by Hawkins. Throw to first is in time with the first out of the inning.
Hartman forcing soft contact from these big train batters so far early in this one. It's been pretty easy outs collected by Cropduster defenses. They look to prove that they should be the #1 seed in this division and in the league.
You don't know who can get drafted at any point on any day, which I think is the best part about the MLB draft. A guy, Jake Birkland from Minnesota State U-Mankato, who is a Division II school, got drafted today kind of unexpectedly, committed to KU 2 days ago, as that one's first pitch in there. Skied into right, and we'll get down foul from Ryan Foscolo's bat, the left fielder.
Well, in a combination of our two worlds today is
yes,
BYU guy Crew McChesney is drafted by the Chicago White Sox in the 17th round.
Yeah, for pick 495, four-year junior outfielder. Great baseball name. 0-2, outside, and Foscolo will wait.
It's actually a funny story with his name. I got a duck around St. Patrick's Day that was a green St. Patrick's Day duck. Collect rubber ducks. And I'd been producing a lot of BYU baseball games, and so I thought a good name for the duck would be McChesney.
Rubber duck.
Rubber duck.
I was
yes.
very lost for a second.
I collect
was
rubber ducks.
Okay.
A green rubber duck. So I have a green rubber duck
yes.
that's named McChesney.
Yeah, well, now that rubber duck is
The Chicago White Sox.
signing for the White Sox. We'll see.
Yeah.
Obviously, all these guys have a chance to go on with their major league or with their college careers. He is a fourth-year senior, so 1-2, foul backwards. I always like going through round 20 just to see who gets drafted. You get guys who definitely are long shots. Cooper Schulte was drafted by the Mets today, a guy I commentated last year for the Corn Belters. Ground ball off of the plate, directly back at the legs of Foscolo.
Foscolo has been very good in recent games. Had another good one last night as he had a single and a double in just 7 innings against the Aces.
1-2. Ground ball left side. Pretty good easy play for Hawkins. Is the throw in time? Yes, it is. As now 5 straight retired batters to start the game for Hartman. All ground outs other than Brendan Wright's line out into center. As Logan Panett, the third baseman returning from illness. He's back into this thing. See what he can do.
Panett rejoining the lineup in that Gaithersburg game on Monday and been pretty steadily in it since then and been a key contributor in several wins for the Big Train.
Lined into left field. Going to be a tough play for Hawkins, and it's going to get down. So the no-hit bid is over in the second inning if you were really hoping for one tonight, as Panett's single is a pretty good sign. These Big Train bats cannot be shut out for long. They will make their way back.
There's not too many pitchers in this league that you're watching for no-hitters on a night-to-night basis, but Hartman actually is one of those guys that you are surprised when somebody's able to get a hit against him, so it's very good for the Big Train to kind of break that streak early and try and open up this game a little bit more as they're already down 3 runs in the bottom of the second.
I was going to say, one guy who was initially signed to, I believe it was the Aces and did not end up, or I believe it was, not the Aces, I think she was the Aces, or the Braves. I forget which team has the SUNY Binghamton guys, but Jackson Mitchell was a guy who was initially going to play for this league, as this one's hit into the air, right field. He ended up in the Cape Cod League. He was drafted. As that one is collected in by Ahern. So there's only one hit as the Big Train are retired out of the second inning. No hits, or 1 hit, no runs for this side as they head to the top of the third, on the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. I'm Carson Cass, joined by Zach Lewis. We are in the top half of this third inning, only up 3-0 on a pretty good second and an error by Gramestein in the first. That did also get the third out of the inning. MLB draft was today. We were talking about that earlier. No, I think, active Cal Ripken Senior League players drafted. It tends to be guys who are here in their younger years, as this one popped up on the left side of the infield for the first batter, Walter. Collected by Johnson as he ranges to his right, and the first out of the inning quickly in the first pitch.
That one hung up there into the sky a long time, but put out doing a good job. Excuse me. Johnson was underneath that one. Good eye on it in the cloudy sky here in Bethesda, all the way down into his glove. So Dolby does open this inning with an out.
Dolby now facing Springmeyer. He struck out looking his last time up. First pitch in there. It's a great breaking ball. Leaves, I think, back door there. Oh, 1 now. Dolby into the season. He struck out quite a fair bit of batters. Only one tonight was the very likes of Springmeyer. It was his 21st of the season. He's towards the top of hitters. He's given up a lot of hits, though. 1-1. It's most runs he's given up to Olney since his first appearance, as that went in there. Quickly a 1-2 count.
Well, Dolby not looking too rattled. Giving up 3 runs there in this game. Not really typical for him, but...
Ooh. Big swing there, and Springmeyer goes down again on strikes. He has struck out a lot versus these Big Train. Not to cut you off.
Yeah, well, no, that's important there, too. My point here is that he didn't get rattled, and now he's delivered a good inning here so far. Springmeyer, once again, swings. Has struck out a lot against the Big Train. I think something that leads to that is the Big Train knowing this is always a big game and using usually one of their top 3 guys as their starter.
This one lined down the left by Waring. The Rutgers commit is hit foul. Another Rutgers player drafted today, Zach Konostoksevi, to the Nats.
A lot of Zachs in baseball.
It's true. Very true. 0-1. That one missed outside. You are one of them.
I am.
That one missing a little bit outside. I really like the old college football. I think it's CBS, the intro music playing in the ballpark tonight. It's a new one. Sound ladies doing well. Ground ball right side, collected by Coleman, and he throws it to first for the third out of the inning. First time they go 3 up, 3 down tonight. Very quick, top of the third. Well into the bottom on the Big Train Baseball Network. Still 3-0 only.
For the Olympics in Japan, and it was because of Adam Gladstone that you called South Orlando and you said
4-3. One hit. I'm really trying to find out if anybody got drafted. I'm doing my damnedest. You know who would probably have it? Cal Ripken Senior League.
Six or 7 big leaders on this field, and he almost beat you. Thank you. And you got one of those players here tonight. Colorado is born in Israel and has been part of our Israel Olympic Club and part of our master kid program. Now, thank you so much for being here tonight and for being here on the 2021. Yeah, it was amazing. North Penny Field playing with us, and we had them for it's really remarkable to see this in the news for everything on here. Thank you. So, Israel Baseball is a way to support teams.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. It's Logan Hartman. Still on. Pretty good season so far. Pretty good night so far as he's retired 6 of the 7 batters he has faced. Pretty good year so far, obviously we mentioned, and solid all around. Apologies, I believe our mics were left on. That one in there, first pitch strike to Kieran Coleman. Ground ball right side, collected by the second baseman, and Coleman goes down to start the inning to the other second baseman, Donis Rodriguez.
Big Train batters still having difficulties against this Cropduster pitching, and Hartman and his defense standing strong so far.
Missing outside as Hack, bit of a cold spell as of late.
Just a little bit. He had an incredible play last night, though, against the Aces, a diving catch over his shoulder to prevent runners being scored, and ended up on a late umpire call turning it into a double play from a diving throw over to first base.
Big wave. Yeah, 2 hits allowed from the Big Train staff in 7 innings yesterday. A very, very good outing from the pitchers.
Very, very good pitching from Big Train yesterday.
They try and maintain that here and keep the ship afloat after 3 up, 3 down for their side in the top of the third. 1-1. Pitch in there. 1-2 count as Hack will watch a curveball break down into the zone. Big 1-2 wave at it, and Hartman has his first strikeout of the night here in the 3rd inning. Second out. I mean, he has been rolling.
Hartman staying effective so far tonight. He's rolling, and as you said, as the Big Train numbers so far tonight.
Cal Johnson leading things off in this ball game. He grounded out to the third baseman as he hits this one pretty well into left field. Under it is Scott, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. Moving quickly as Hartman and Dolby duel here on the Big Train Baseball Network. Hartman winning so far as only a 3-0 lead here on the Big Train Baseball Network.
Big Train can't do what we do without our sponsors.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Dolby still on the mound. He'll face off for the 2nd time through this order with Patrick Gosden. He had a single, which tailed Maximus Waring's double, as both of those members had a pretty good chunk in what was a 2-run lead, or 2-run ball inning. 2-run scored inning, I'm not sure why I couldn't find in the word there. But he scored as well as Waring. He stranded 2 in that inning, as the next men, Scott, who drove 1 run in, and Zakai Hawkins, who walked, were left stranded. But 0-1 as the first pitch is in there. Fastball from Dolby makes it on that low portion of the zone at the knees.
Yeah, this portion of the lineup was the one that got hot in that second inning. They're looking to replicate that here, as they'd love to stretch this lead, coming from not just good hitting but great defense as well from the Cropdusters so far tonight at Shirley Povich.
Most runs they have scored only in the last 2 ball games. Tonight, more runs than they have had in the last two games combined. 1 run on the first, 1 run on the third. Both Big Train wins, but all that really matters is who ends up on top of this division. This one popped in the air right side. Gonzalez tailing it. It will go out of the field of play and just between the kind of trees in that right field line of the David Povich first base grandstand. Shirley Povich, obviously the moniker of the field, the namesake, if you will.
The all-time journalists from the Maryland area and just in baseball, really good friends, and wrote a lot about the man called baseball's greatest pitcher, Walter Johnson.
I'm not sure I agree with that, but objectively, Walter Johnson is one of the greatest pitchers of all time. 2-2. We could debate that all day, though, with old players. That one missing outside. One thing I think is interesting is when you start considering guys to be playing at a certain level that is good enough to be matching today's level, I think around the 60s is when I'm still set on guys being able to be good enough for today's major leagues. 3-2. Ground ball right side, and well played by Gonzalez. Going to be a tough play at first. Did Dolby beat him? Yes, he did. Outran Gosden, and that's the first out of the inning.
Good hustle from Dolby there, who recognized his first baseman. Gonzalez wouldn't get to the bag in time to make the play after a good stop by Gonzalez on a quick hit there from the Cropdusters. Well done to get an out here and enter his second at-bat without a guy on the bags.
Like Walter Johnson, who has a baseball team named after him, the Bethesda Big Train, and like Shirley Povich, who has a baseball team's field named after him at Shirley Povich Field, Willie McCovey, who has a cove named after him, I think is probably the first guy I can think of that is from that era that I would say definitely could compete in today's MLB if you gave him enough time to adjust to those 100-mile-an-hour pitches, because there were guys that threw that hard, or as hard as a lot of some guys are in that lower end of fastballs in the league at that point. McCovey, an all-star, rookie of the year. All-star plenty of times, I think 5 times, 6 times maybe. But an MVP as well. In his best season with a 1,000 OPS he posted with the 1969 Giants, as that one misses inside to Donis Rodriguez.
You know, something to note about when you kind of translating old to modern game, sometimes the equipment, something that's interesting if you follow golf at all. In championships, a long time ago, you'd watch players hit maybe a 3 or 4 wood from a 215-yard hole, and that was pretty standard for PGA championships and that sort of thing. These same players who are now playing in the senior PGA championships, who are hitting those clubs, are hitting a 5-iron or a 6-iron in those positions.
Sorry, Coleman making a web gem play right there. That should get him a green jacket, as he's a master of the field.
Well, he already has a green shirt and jumps looking like a logo there. A really nice snag out of the air by Coleman as he puts himself on the highlight reel tonight.
So, fantastic play as Rodriguez lines out to second. The other thing I think is the golf ball, because they put, and this is going to sound really dumb, new stuff in it, as that one in the air to left, and that'll be the third out. So, 7 straight retired for Dolby after a rough second inning. He's responded well. We'll be right back on the Big Train Baseball Network after 2 scoreless frames in a row. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Brandon Wright to lead things off here, as neither team has a hit in the last 3 frames. Pitching matchup definitely getting even better, but, you know, I guess I'll give what I have listed, and this is a little outdated. I'm not even sure I agree with this anymore. I do have my top 5 players, top 5 pitchers ever listed. Number 1 is Greg Maddux, which I think is fair. They named it shutout under 100 pitches after him. Then I have Satchel Paige, Kansas City Monarch legend. And then Walter Johnson, then Cy Young, and then my 5th pitcher, which is, I think, pretty egregious, and I don't know if anybody should agree with me on this, is...
Well, I'll say, Carson, that is certainly a list.
The 5th one is, and I'm sure this is different now. I'm trying to remember the 5th one. 1-1, I had 4 written down. I do remember my 5th one being pretty bad. Inside pitch. I think this is a pure talent list, by the way, and I think I went Tariq Skubal after last year's All-Star Cy Young season, which I don't really agree with as the 5th best pitcher of all time, considering his career is not over. 2-1. Stuff-wise, he might be top 5 ever. There's no way I would ever want to get into a box with a lefty throwing 100 miles an hour, deep into games, too. For his injury, he was doing that in the 8th inning, which was really scary. 3-1 count. Brandon Wright threatening to be the first walk tonight for Hartman.
Yeah, and incredible how long he's able to last with that kind of speed. That ball is right into the glove of Hartman for the Cropdusters.
Comebacker. First down.
Play over at first. Sits Brennan Wright down and brings up Emilio Gonzalez.
Oh, this is a completely normal list. I had Sandy Koufax at 5, and then Randy Johnson at 6, and Nolan Ryan at 7. That's my top 7, which is a weird inordinate number. I understand that, but
sometimes everything doesn't have to be 5s and 10s.
No, 7 felt right, as that's fouled backwards.
Play 9 innings in baseball.
Walter Johnson did pitch way more than any other guy ever. He leads, I think, WAR for pitchers by like 20. Curious about that, but one of the best pitchers ever I have on this list somewhere is Addy Joss, a 1902 debuting pitcher who had a solid .9 whip in his career. Only man to have pitched over 1,000 innings that has an ERA that is below 2, as well as a whip below 1. Well, only whip below 1, period. As 2-1 outside to Gonzalez. 1 out. Definitely a pitcher's duel as we talk about pitchers. That one in there. Strike 2 to Gonzalez. 2-2 count for the only man who has a homer this season or a run against Hartman. All-time leader in shutouts is Walter Johnson. Ground ball left side. Going to try and get through that hole and shortens third as it does get just under the glove of Hawkins. An infield single is the first hit since the second inning for the Big Train here in the bottom of the fourth.
Emilio Gonzalez does a great job earning the second hit of the night for the Big Train. That one, just enough speed to get it through 5.5 hole between second and third there. He's on first and only one out now, so runner on, and the home run leader for the Big Train in the lead, Malvasio, is now up to the plate.
Ground ball from Malvasio left side will end up foul as Gosden gets it.
Well, yesterday we, once again, after Malvasio on Wednesday, I believe it was. Wednesday we didn't have a game. Tuesday, I believe it was, hit one off the top of the fence. After in center, after Emilio Gonzalez, we had another one off the top of the fence last night. Just stayed in.
Ground ball left side, gonna get through that hole again, and two quick singles as Hartman's perfect day starts to unravel. Excuse me.
Now batting for the Big Train, the left fielder, number 30, Ryan.
For the record, Cy Young is above Walter Johnson with WAR for pitchers, and both of those guys are about 20 above the next guy, Roger Clemens. Just for the marker, as we will stop talking about very old guys.
Well, the caliber there for those players is just incredible, and
they named the dang pitching award after him.
They haven't really been reached since, which is just incredible in a sport that's evolving and changing. Equipment and coaching has been getting better, and still some of these old guys have everything on these new guys.
I guess one thing I have that's interesting, Grover Cleveland, the name of a president, also the name of one of the best pitchers of all time, Grover Cleveland Alexander. Why not? As that mound visit will end, Springmeyer talking to Hartman to try and calm him down here. Big Train, two runners on. It's Gonzalez at second and Malvasio at first. Ryan Foscolo in. He's 0 for 1 on the night with a ground out to short. Righty delivers as this one grounded into that exact same spot. Gonzalez will stop at third, and bases are loaded with one out, as literally every single guy, 3 in a row, hit the ball on the exact same part of the zone to the exact same place in the field.
Well, they found the weak spot of this zone and defense for the Cropdusters. A little bobble in the glove there. Tempted Gonzalez to go home on that one, but instead elected to stay and was safe. One out here, and bases loaded for the Cropduster pitcher, Hartman.
They've got him surrounded as Logan Panett, 1 for 1 today with a single that was sawed off into right. That one outside, missing on that breaking ball. Pretty good slider that Hartman wields.
Panett, the only guy on this team with a hit so far tonight that's not standing on a bag. So, good man to have up in a situation that can start the storm for the Big Train.
1-0 outside. Fastball can't touch the zone, and Hartman getting a little antsy. Nobody up in that Olney bullpen. See just how long they'll let him go without a mound visit to try and calm him down, but it's been very good. A 2-0 count with bases loaded is something that he has proven he can get out of. 2-0. That one just missing high, and he's in danger of walking a run home. Big Train hitless without Panett before this inning. 4 hits now total, as Panett had a single in the second and 3 singles in a row to put Gonzalez, Malvasio, and Foscolo on, all ground balls that got through the left side of the infield. 3-0. He missed. So an RBI walk for Logan Panett brings the runner Gonzalez home, and everybody moves over. 1 out. They'll try and keep the line moving, now down only 2.
Well, very uncharacteristic at bat there for Hartman, who has been so good in high-pressure situations, but pitches get away from him on that one, and Panett walking to first brings a run home for the Big Train. TJ Gramsty up to the bat to try and further the damage here and siphon this 2-run lead.
Hartman first pitch to Gramesty misses high. So 5 straight balls from Hartman. One man starting to go in the bullpen. Doesn't even have his jersey on just yet. One-0. That one in there. It's a good fastball on the inside portion of the plate. Gramesty wondering if it had just barely gotten the zone. Not a pitch he liked to swing at.
Gramesty has been important for Big Train recently, as well as pretty much the whole lineup has been hitting well. That's in tonight has really just kind of been clicking on all cylinders, and that's how you have a 10-game winning streak, is you're hitting from everywhere, and they've been able to do pretty much exactly that.
So the 2-1 now. Righty delivers, Hartman, and he misses outside. So again, in danger of walking another runner home for Gramesty, who leads this team in walks. Pretty good season so far on the base paths. 33 walks, 10 of which are hit by pitches. That leads the team in both categories. 3-1. Missed inside and upstairs. Gramesty will walk home another as Malvazio scores. Big Train get the lead down to 1. As Foscolo now at third is the tying bag.
Really great work there. Big Train as we take an official coach mound visit here for the pitcher Hartman.
Left-hander up in the bullpen finally for their side, as things kind of unraveled quickly. They'll look for relief here soon, but for now, Hartman will try and dry his hands, keep himself calm. 2 straight walks, the only 2 walks he's given up all night. As 5 base runners in a row reaching, breaking his streak of 5 base runners in a row extinguished. That had a single sandwich between another of those very streaks. Hartman this season has only administered 8 walks and 9 hits. Now 12 hits and 10 walks after only this inning. Very good. But whatever happened, last second time through, they have found what they were looking for. So now Coleman. Last time he saw the Cropdusters, he got his first hit of the year. It was an RBI, 2 RBI double, excuse me. First pitch in there. Strike on the upstairs portion of the zone. Kind of caught it right at the top part.
Watched Coleman make quite an athletic play earlier in this game as he snagged the ball out of the air looking like a wide receiver.
0-1. And by a wide receiver, he looked like Odell Beckham in the end zone. Specifically 2017 Odell Beckham, I believe. That might have been 2015. Or old.
How influential was Odell Beckham to just our generation growing up?
I mean, they were calling it the Odell at backyard football. 1-1. Lined into right, but it's going to get down in the kid zone. Bounce off the bounce house, aptly named, as Coleman into a 1-2 count now. That's what they call the Wisconsin football stadium.
They do.
Coleman a thing in his eye as he'll get a free timeout, which is, I think, well-earned and not a timeout you ever want to get. Out of Starkville, Mississippi, joined the team on July 2nd. 6'1", 170 infielder looking for his next school after he has spent 2 years and graduated at Northeast Mississippi Community College.
Came in somewhat to replace our leadoff and shortstop, second base guy, Julius Bonaris.
1-2 down the line. It's going to be extra bases. One runner will score. Another tailing as this ball game is tied. They'll send one more home. Gramesty to the plate. They won't even try it. 3 runs. Big Train take a 5-3 lead, courtesy of a base-clearing double by the second baseman, Coleman.
Huge double from Coleman there. Does exactly what it needs to. Gets a slap shot hit down left. It stays just fair of the line. Dribbles down, gets kind of lost down that left side line. No throw into the plate comes, so 3 runners score for the Big Train. they now become the comeback kids. 5-3, Big Train.
Cardiac as usual in a 5-run fourth inning now. They'll try and add on to it as the last 6 have gotten on and now done serious damage. As Coleman, 3 RBIs to his tally this season. First pitch in there to the man at the bottom of the order, Will Hack, trying to keep things going with a good hack.
Hack now looking to continue his moniker as a RBI specialist.
Big wave. Olney now into a better spot, potentially, if they can get Hack out here. Hack struck out to Hartman in his first at-bat. Saw 4 pitches, excuse me. Trying not to go down in 3. 0-2. Ground ball backwards, and it'll get into the stands. Catches a fan, but they're all right, luckily.
Well, Will Hack has, in his 25 games played, 17 RBIs, so a good return from him. Only 2 doubles, 1 triple, so doesn't usually hit the ball too far on his RBIs, but is able to do well.
Sorry, the hit by pitch always scares me for whatever reason, as that one missed inside. It'll be a wild pitch. Very wild. 2-2 count. Hack is not struck. And the at-bat will continue as Coleman moves over to third.
Hack, luckily, able to be out of the way of that pitch. That I was mentioning. Just doesn't hit the ball too hard or far, but is able to hit it effectively in lots of outings.
Strike 3 looking. A breaking ball gets in the zone. Backdoor curve is fantastic from Hartman, and Hack will strike out looking for the second time today. Second out, tailed by Johnson in the 4th.
It's a great out there, and Hartman showing why obviously he's still an all-star pitcher in this league. That one a very, very good pitch.
Ground ball right side collected by Rodriguez, and that will do it. 5 runs for the Big Train on 4 hits. We'll be right back as 5-3 now the lead for Bethesda on the Big Train Baseball Network. Hello and welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Bryce Dolby on again for this 5th inning after extinguishing the lineup 3 up, 3 down twice in a row in the 3rd and the 4th. So after all the games today that have already finished, with Gaithersburg winning, same with Metro South County over Alexandria, standings now go 1 seed Bethesda, 2 seed Olney. Whoever wins will have that 1 seed of this matchup. That 3 seed still belonging to Southern Maryland, as they have lost one, obviously, last time out. Metro South County now claims that 4th place spot as well, that final bye, and 2 teams at 5 and 6 are Gaithersburg and Alexandria, who are both half a game back now from the likes of the Braves. So an interesting setup as they are all kind of fighting for that, as hit into center, well struck, but Hack will get there as Brian Scott, the first out of the 5th inning.
Well, around the league, things are heating up. Every game matters just a little bit more now as you're into playoff standings. Obviously, they mattered throughout the season because it's a short season and every game is going to matter some, but definitely can tell better which games are going to be the ones you circle for the playoff spots. Big Train hoping to get that #1 spot going into the playoffs.
That one missed low to the batter Hawkins. He led things off with a hit by pitch and walked in the 2nd inning. He eventually was stranded. Big Train 4 hits, with 5 runs the last inning to find their way into a pretty good spot. Up 2 as this one popped up on the infield, right side, and that now makes 9 batters retired in a row for Dolby as the 2nd out of the inning comes in the form of a Hawkins fly out to right.
Malvazio calls his first baseman and second baseman, who were over to help him make the call. It's into the glove of the right fielder, and like I said, Dolby and the defense finding their rhythm a little better in these last 2 innings, and were able to respond really well to Big Train in that last one, scoring 5.
That one missed low. First pitch to Ryan Booma, the all-star designated hitter, is one of 3 all-stars in the lineup tonight for them. Logan Hartman, the other, is pitching, as well as the other fielder, Landon Springmeyer, making up the battery as they've been pretty efficient tonight. Curious to see if we get a new arm. Looks like there's a righty warming. I believe, actually, there's nobody warming. They've already been sent to the dugout. He's expecting to be in this one. 2-0, hit well into right. Malvazio coming in on it, and he's got it. 3rd out of the inning. Bryce Dolby, 10 retired in a row now. We'll be right back on the Big Train Baseball Network. 5-3 the lead. Big Train rolling with 3 scoreless frames in a row. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. It's Austin Weiss, the left-hander out of Rockville, Maryland, committed to his hometown university.
Georgetown Prep guy, local kid here.
Yeah, I guess Georgetown would have been his local university. I apologize.
Well, Georgetown Prep is his high school there, University of Maryland commit.
I suppose Georgetown's more local and also a D1 baseball school, but it's a DC. They did used to play at this field.
I feel like as a kid growing up in kind of Montgomery County as well, I mean, Georgetown Prep is kind of Montgomery County. I definitely grew up in Montgomery County, but I feel like University of Maryland feels like the hometown school for sure. I mean, it's definitely the biggest. Georgetown and Frostburg and places like that, you know, feel somewhat hometown, but I definitely would stick with Maryland. We'll get on to his stats as we stop discussing where exactly he would think his hometown school is.
Yeah. Played
in only 2 games for Cropdusters so far, one of those being a start, and he's pitched in 4.1 innings. ERA of 2.08, a whip of 1.62, and 6 strikeouts. So it's been a decent return on his limited appearances with the Cropdusters so far.
His first strikeout of his Maryland career was at number 1 UCLA, where he struck out number 1 overall pick, Rock Chalowski.
What a way to do it.
What a way to do it. That was a start there, as, you know, terrifying thing, as that first pitch misses inside very hard to Wright, who is 0 for 2 on the night. Weiss not committed to Maryland. He's played at Maryland last year, and he's going back. 500 batting average against 4 hitters against the likes of Weiss this season. However, only a 2.08 ERA with a 1.62 whip. So, not a lot of walks you can guess on the tally. He was the number 82 player and number 8 left-handed pitcher in the country by perfect game. Number 1 left-handed pitcher in Maryland when he graduated in 2025, as the 1-0 is fouled backwards. He actually ended up playing for the 18U USA national team in 2024. Posted a 1.91 ERA in those 3.2 innings pitched, and tossed 2 shutout innings to 3 strikeouts against 18U Venezuela, as Wright fouls this one off to the left side. And also held Panama hitless in 1.2 innings in the gold medal game. By 1 earned run, I believe the USA did win that gold medal. One, two. Big swing and a miss, and Wright goes down. 3rd game in a row with a strikeout. Excuse me, for a guy who does not strike out that much. He's been producing, though, more than he has. So hot at the cost of the strikeout, as good job by Weiss there to mix up his fastball with his slider.
Well, you mentioned Brennan Wright doesn't really strike out. He had the longest on-base streak of the Cal Ripken Senior League that ended this season. Gonzalez takes a big swing and misses on his first pitch this season. But Brennan Wright, not a guy you see retired to the dugout too often. Good job by Weiss to come in and earn that first out.
Ooh, he got him. Got the inside elbow, and not the protected part for Emilio Gonzalez. As that one not feeling good for the designated hitter all-star. He's been struck by a lot of pitches this season, and he is not well.
He is hurting there, Gonzalez, looking like he might need a sub. Noticed him in a couple earlier plays today moving a little slower than he normally does. Maybe he seemed to be nursing something already. And
training staff will come out for Gonzalez. We'll be right back on the Big Train Baseball Network. Take a quick injury break. Excuse me, we're not going to. Gonzalez going to just take that off the elbow and eat it, really. He's going to stay on the bag, and
he's a really tough guy there, Gonzalez, yeah. Just really wants to do what's going to be best for his team there, and he thinks that's staying in the game, and props to him for being tough and seeing that one out. It's a painful one.
First pitch to Malvasio, and it's popped up on the infield, ranging to his right. The pitcher has a hearing. The first baseman will get it. So a quick pop out to the first baseman is the second out, and Weiss into a much better situation with a runner on. Just needs one more out to keep the traffic down. Foscolo singled into left field on the ground his last time up. First pitch in there. He is 1 for 2 on the day. Hit was one of 3 in a row. That broke what was a very good day for Hartman, which I think what led to Austin Weiss taking the mound. Big swing and a miss. Talked to Ali earlier. See if he could get through a pretty good outing. He was going to stay in pretty long. So 0-2 to Foscolo.
Well, I don't think that bottom of the 4th was in the game plan for the Cropdusters, as Hartman gave up 5 runs there.
4 hits.
Hit foul.
4 hits. He gave up his 9th and 10th walk of the season. Then after, gave up his first double of the year. Crushed a ball down the line, did Kieran Coleman.
I'll admit, this is not the team you want to see if you're trying to keep your hitless and earned run streak down. This lineup has been very, very effective from the bats recently.
Big swing and a miss. Weiss, third out of the inning, is a strikeout. 2 for him so far. He's been very good. We'll be right back on the Big Train Baseball Network. 5-3 the lead as a runner is stranded.
Fans, turn your attention down the third base line for tonight's homer and bunt race. Get ready, please.
They will turn to the 6'8 right-hander Aiden Parker. Virginia Beach native will have his 3rd appearance of the year.
Yeah, Parker looking like a giant up on that mound. He has played in 2 games with the Big Train so far. 5 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, and 6 strikeouts. So perfect return so far from him. Look to continue that today against Cropdustar bats who can do damage, but Parker looking to limit them as a very good night from Dolby.
So Parker will tail Dolby. Pretty good night, as you mentioned. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, a walk, 1 hit by pitch, and 2 strikeouts as he holds the Olney side to as many earned runs as he did last time, but did give up an unearned run on an error. Parker trailing the lights of Dolby tonight. He's been very good this season, yet to give up an earned run, as you mentioned. He's been very lethal. That 6'8 extension gives him a bit of a faster fastball, and he already throws that thing in the high 90s, or the low 90s, but it can get up to mid 90s is how it feels because he's letting the ball out so far away from his arm. Big Train a 5-3 lead here on the top of the 6th. Been a pitcher's duel apart from really the top of the 1st and 2nd and the bottom of the 4th.
We can see already how much velocity Parker punches it into the zone with on his first strike. Has missed the zone in the last couple pitches, so needs to find his control here.
That one missed outside. Parker administers a walk. That is his 2nd of the year and his 3rd appearance as Hard to get on against this guy, but the free pass is something that they will absolutely take. Walter, 1 for 2 on the day, will add that walk. Brings up the all-star Landon Springmeyer, big catching product out of northern Kentucky.
NKU North.
One of the cooler names, I would say, in the NCAA D1 level. Spent 2 years at a community college in California before coming to northern Kentucky for a year. I think he is undecided, I believe, in the portal. Unsure of that. 1-0. Parker delivers. Struggling to find the zone in this start, but he does get it in there. Low inside corner. Didn't like it. We see a lot of controversial calls here in these games between Olney and the Big Train, and I think they're the exact same calls we get in regular games. But just a little bit higher tension as, inside on Springmeyer. It struck him. He will move over to first, and it's 2 quick walks as the first hit-by-pitch victim of the season for Parker, the big right-hander, struggling with his control here.
Yeah, and that one's going to sting when you have a guy who can throw the heat like Parker does. Obviously not intentional there, but losing his control a little bit on that, I bet. Needs to find it back here as he now has 2 guys on the bags now.
It's Maximus Waring, 18-year-old, with a big spot here. 2 runners on, nobody out in the top of the 6th. Missing high, only down 3-5 after good start in the first and second as Gramesty will try and calm his pitcher down. Release point not where he wants it to be. It's a little early and a little bit, I think, high for sure, as he's kind of missing upstairs a few of these times. Parker, yet to give up a hit this year, has been pretty dominant with his control on the mound.
Yeah, hasn't struggled too much in other appearances with that. Finding the zones of Gramesty, getting in there, reminding him, hey, facing a good team today, but you don't need to let that get to your head. You are good. Jogs back behind the plate. Gramesty sets.
1-0. Right-hander Parker delivers. Now here is to Waring. Missing outside, and big right-hander. Can't seem to find that zone just yet. 39 innings, at George Mason. Very impressive so far for the Big Train. There you go. Missed outside. Atlantic 10 Conference All-Rookie team.
You mentioned a couple of controversial calls in these games. Talking to somebody who interned with the Big Train a couple of seasons ago and asked me actually specifically about the Cropdusters, noting that these 2 teams did not really like each other kind of since the Cropdusters joined the league. So bit of a rivalry game here tonight.
3-0, he finds it on the zone there. Batting average against Parker is a 150 marker. First time out, he had a great debut against the Senators. 2 innings pitched. He struck out 5 of the 6 hitters he faced. 3-1 now. It's in there. Good breaking ball as Parker's found his way back in the count in his first 2-strike count of the inning so far.
Parker now with an opportunity. Full count.
Swing and a miss. Waring can't catch up to the fastball, and Parker, his 7th strikeout of the year.
Good strikeout and a big moment for Parker there. He does blow that one past Waring in the zone. The heat comes from Parker, and the young man for the Cropdusters goes down.
Came out of this roster in late June, Waring did. That brings in Patrick Gosden, a similar marker. He just missed some of the year as Westchester University. His university was in the D2 College World Series. There they lost in 3 games to the Tampa Spartans. I almost said Senators. That is the Southern Maryland team. 0-1. Beautiful night tonight in Shirley Povich. As you can see, the sunshine and right dissipating. A beautiful watercolor sky. 0-1. Sun is long gone at 8:30. Half swing, didn't get in there. Parker upset, think it maybe got there. Not too upset, I think he just thought it was in there. 1-1. Runners on second and first. Big swing and a miss, and Gosden into a 1-2 count. When that slider is placed, it appears that he is such a difficult pitcher to hit.
That one does drop out of the zone with a lot of velocity at the last second there, and does take it out of the reach of the batter. Definitely a tricky pitch to hit.
1-2. Line into left field. Tailing after it is Foscolo. He gets it. Only has to take a few steps back for the second out of the inning. And 2 quick outs after the 2 walks. Big Train in a spot to maybe get rid of these base runners and leave them stranded as Donis Rodriguez comes to the plate. These are the first base runners for Olney since the 2nd inning.
One more out strands the 2 guys on for the Cropdusters. Big moment here for Parker in his 3rd appearance of the Big Train.
Half swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Rodriguez can't believe it. A former Milwaukee Brewers Dominican Summer Leaguer. He is a Dominican player out of Mao.
Just went a little too far on that swing that he thought he checked. A lot of movement in his batter stance there. Lots of up and down momentum he's trying to generate.
0-1 missing outside. Kramasty can't get a frame on that one as it's in the other batter's box. 1-1 Parker trying to get rid of Rodriguez to end the inning. Rodriguez, 16 strikeouts on the year, 26 hits. He's been very good. Was in the leadoff spot initially, but has struggled on the base paths. 6 caught stealing is towards the top of the league. He is, however, in that top 10 of stolen bases with 12. 2-1. Big right-hander trying to end this. Half swing, soft grounder over to Coleman, has to make a tough play, goes underhand from quite the distance, and they got him! Close play at the bag, they will call him out. Rodriguez strands 2 runners, and a good bounce back from Parker on the mound as the Big Train take a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. It's Austin Weiss still on the mound for his 2nd inning of work. Pretty good inning last time. He did suffer hit by a pitch. Well, I guess Gonzalez suffered on the hit by a pitch. Struck 2 out, and he'll have Logan Panett as the left-hander trying to get going after a bit of a tough season at Maryland. We did strike out a UCLA bat who was selected 1st overall. Still a 7 ERA and only 6 games appeared in. I believe it was injury that stopped him. Maybe just control issues. but definitely a guy who's got a lot of talent. 1-0. Pitch missing high.
Weiss did put in a really good shift there in the last inning, taking over from Olney star pitcher Hartman, who had a very good game up until that inning where he gave up 5 zeros on every frame except the bottom 4. So really only took 1 inning for the Big Train to put themselves back in the game with kind of lineup that can generate heat on any night.
3-0. Free pass not administered, as that one's on the outside corner. I mentioned Hartman's final stats: 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks, as he did strike out the likes of Hack twice. 3-1. Missed inside and upstairs. So a free pass administered for real this time, as Panett over to first in the bottom of the 6th here. Big Train trying to extend their lead from 5-3. These only Big Train games have been quite close all season, as the sun fully disappearing. The half, I wouldn't call it partly cloudy. I wouldn't even call it mostly cloudy. It feels like overcast, but the sun is there, so I guess mostly cloudy.
Mostly cloudy day.
Should have rained today, but we were lucky to avoid it, as yesterday's game was cut short by weather delay, but played enough of the game to where we just called it 9-0 with the Aces only having 2 hits. Great team win from the Big Train yesterday, as that first pitch in there to TJ Gramesty.
We were actually 1 out away.
Quite the jump from Panett, and they got him by a mile. Thought the pitcher was going, and just a slight adjustment as he came set, and Panett caught stealing for the first out of the inning, excuse me.
No, that's an unlucky one there, and a play where Panett gets a little bit punished for being advantageous there. It is, good idea, but
I thought he got a great jump, and then the pitch didn't
the
come.
pitcher quite right. He didn't go. So unfortunately, out there, no more base runner. Panett on his last walk drove a runner in.
So 0-1 to 1-1 as Gramesty did not see a pitch during that steal attempt. No hits for this Cropduster side since the 2nd inning. Big Train only a hit in 1 inning except the 4th. 1-2.
It's hard to keep good teams down for a long time, and they only really need one moment.
Outside as the fastball from Weiss not in there. Highly touted recruit. Weiss, one of the best left-handers in the country in the 2025 class. Two-two. He'll try and extinguish Gramesty. Missed inside, a little bit low, as the downstairs fastball makes it way for a full count.
Doesn't quite get to the bottom corner of the zone like he was aiming for there, Weiss, and it's a full count now, but has an out under his belt courtesy of a good recognized pickoff attempt.
That one missing high, and Gramesty will walk. So another free pass administered, though nobody on as Panett was caught stealing. So Kieran Coleman, who doubled 3 runs in his last time up, will come up with only 1 on.
Coleman, his bat has been pretty electric for Big Train here since his late addition to the team, last guy to join the Big Train this season, as we've had a couple of players in that defensive position, Daniel Machado and Julius Bonaris, go out due to injury, and he has been a very good player to come in and replace those guys.
First pitch to Weiss misses high, from Weiss misses high to Kieran Coleman. And we mentioned that double, 1 for 2 total. Coleman coming to try and replenish a middle infield that saw the likes of Bonaris and Machado out for the year with injuries. Both those guys very fun to talk to, very nice guys, but unfortunately not staying with us the whole season, as the 1-0 is in there. 1-1. Coleman struck out a lot his senior season, or I guess sophomore season, which is the senior season of a JUCO player. Had a over 40% strikeout rate. However, still hit very well. Had himself a 854 OPS despite such a high strikeout tally. 2-1. Ground ball, he fights it off, and a 2-2 count.
Bonaris, who left, has That's jersey number taken by a pitcher now. Landry Winter was also joined the big train.
We saw Winter go one and 2 innings, excuse me. Out of relief against Silver Spring Tacoma. 2-2. Just low, and another full count as Weiss struggling to hit the zone. Control issues plaguing this one. This inning. He's had a very good first inning. Bottom 6. One runner on, trying not to walk a second. 3-2. Ground ball left side as it gobbles up the shortstop, bounces off the lip into his face. Maybe right into his chest. Not really his fault. A terrible bounce for Gosden, and one I think I would call an infield single, but it will go down as an error. Not much you could have done there, and you definitely feel for the guy as Kieran Coleman is on base.
Well, it's a close play at first after he does have that unfortunate play, like you mentioned. It kind of just unfortunately had a weird bounce in front of him, which caused a bobble. It will be officially reached on an error by Coleman, so it doesn't get the hit. Gramercy at second, and now 2 runners on, 1 out for Weiss, who now has a bit of jam work.
Manager Adam Leader, pretty aptly named as the head coach of this ball club, and have a meeting of the minds. What are you saying to your pitcher here, Weiss? He's got such good stuff, but just control issues in this inning, and especially now with a out that you probably should have got. Yeah, but unfortunately the lip said otherwise. What do you let him know?
Well, I think you have a player here who has a lot of caliber, but he's still relatively young in his, at least, college baseball career. Obviously, you've been playing the game a long time. So you maybe remind him of kind of both of those things. That you know how to pitch, you've been doing this a long time, and also give yourself forgiveness and don't think about the last pitch if it didn't go your way, and just focus on this next pitch and putting it in the zone. If he does that, he'll be fine here.
Yeah, I just am going to fess up here. I had my other headset fully on, which is why I've been cutting you off a bunch today. I just realized that that's the reason I can't hear you that well. I was like, he's awfully quiet, and actually, no, that's me. Will Hack hits this one into right. So I guess here's my formal apology on broadcast to you, my friend. Silly mistake. It was so comfortable.
I feel like we're at the point in the season where I'm ready for you to jump in whatever you need. If that's mid-sentence, it's mid-sentence. So, you know, we're one mind and one heart here on our broadcast team tonight. So
you've been making some good points that have just been unfortunately cut off by quick action, as it's been not the pitcher's duel, as there's just 8 combined runs in the 6th, but pretty early results in the count. 1-1 as Will Hack takes one low. Struck out twice already. He's got 2 base runners on. 1-1. Big wave, and it's a low fastball downstairs, and Weiss is able to get at least part of the job done here. 1-2 count. They'll go 1-2 again. Oh, and missed high. Weiss, 1.1 innings pitched. 2 Ks, 2 walks. And a 2-2 count now.
Weiss, even at 2s, now has a chance to get himself an out and a strikeout back.
Lefty will watch that one on the inside corner as he can't extinguish Hack. Southpaw Weiss is the first lefty pitcher in this ball game from either side, as he's got a full count to the righty Hack. He's got a bit of an advantage, can see it a little bit better out of the hand. We'll see if he can play to that benefit. Full count, runner goes, and this one lined in the air to right field. Gramercy going to have to make his way back. Going to be a tough play, and he's back in time as the throw from Wearing not going to catch him. So fly out to right, which surely could have moved Gramercy over had he not stolen, but a full count kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to go there, but Gramercy and Coleman both happen to make their way back to their respective bags there. So it is good work to bounce back there from Wise, who has an out from a pickoff attempt earlier against Panett. Now 2 outs and 2 guys on, so almost out of the jam now for Weiss.
Bat's been a bit cold in the power department lately for Cal Johnson, but the kind of guy you want up with runners in scoring position. He has got 23 runs brought in on this season, towards the top of this Big Train team, as 26 hits. 5 of them have gone over the wall. 2 in the same game against the Grays were his first 2 homers of the year, and a walk-off homer on Father's Day on June 21st. That one missing inside, nearly caught the wrist of Cal Johnson. Grays game very early in the season for a Big Train squad, which you've seen really develop, I think, offensively, a presence. 2-run game against the Grays, on 6/27. 2-0. Missed inside. I was not there for that ball game.
No runs last night. No hits last night for Cal Johnson, as he did bring a run in himself.
No hits. The one hit the night prior was a double in the 7th, where he ended up scoring. Helped tally more runs on Silver Spring Tacoma. 3-0. That one misses, on Southern Maryland, as 4-pitch walk for Cal Johnson will load the bases, and Weiss in a seriously tough spot. He's only got one more out to get, but he is in a scary place.
Yeah, and that was his chance to really escape unscathed. Obviously still just needs one out here, but they bring a guy, Brennan Wright, in who struck out his last time out, and that's a rare occasion for him. So he will do what it takes to put the pressure on the pitcher here, either draw a walk or get a hit here that will bring a runner in.
Doesn't need to, but Wright does lead the league in ground into double plays. So you're hoping he can put one on the ground here and get an out, as you've got yourself surrounded like you did in the 4th. Weiss was not obviously the pitcher that had himself in that spot, but trying to keep his scorecard clean. Big Train been very rough to pitchers their second time through the order, and this is the first man he saw, Brennan Wright. That Hartman 4th inning was the second time through the order, and the Big Train were 5 for 7 against Hartman. 5 for 8, with 3 singles and 2 walks. 1-1, as well as a double. 2-1 is now the count, as that one misses outside.
All right, looking for something to get going tonight.
Right 0 for 3. 2-1. That one misses away, and in danger of walking another run home, which is how we saw the scoring start for Bethesda tonight.
Yeah, Panett earned a walk that drew an RBI in starting of that bottom 4th inning. Weiss has to be careful here on this pitch.
Lefty got it in the zone to Wright. Southpaw against southpaw here. Wright the disadvantage, as it's a lefty matchup.
Big moment here for the young pitcher of the Cropdusters.
Payoff. Everybody surrounded. Half swing, or a full swing, and half of the bat got that. Just tipped it backwards.
Wright stays alive. Keeps the threat of stretching the lead for the Big Train still alive.
Here we go. Payoff. Brennan Wright. He's got Weiss surrounded. Southpaw deals. And a foul backwards again, as it's a reach-out swing on an outside fastball again. Brennan Wright, a Starkville, Mississippi native, one of a few on this squadron.
Well, after those 2 foul balls, what do you think the likelihood that there's a pitch that Brennan Wright should swing on this pitch?
I think he's going to try and give him a changeup somewhere in the zone. Could be something hanging, maybe good enough for Brennan Wright's first homer of the year. Full count, payoff. It is a hanging changeup, belted down the line, foul. Wouldn't have got out of the park, but it was an off-speed that he did not put in the right part of the zone, as now encroaching pitch 7 of this AB. Brennan Wright patient. He's been very good now this season in order not to strike out. He did strike out in his last 3 games, but only 8 on the year and 109 plate appearances.
Veteran against a rookie of this league.
3-2. Lined right up the middle. It's a worm burner collected by Hawkins. Throw to first. He got him. He gets him in time, and the base is loaded, stranded, as some good jam work from Weiss to get out of it. 2 scoreless frame for the young Maryland pitcher, and it's still a 5-3 lead for the Big Train as we head to the bottom of the 6th, the top of the 7th on the Big Train Baseball Network. Cade Ahern, the Lehigh first baseman, will lead things off for the Cropdusters. Side of Olney, pretty good so far tonight on the hitting side, and then the 3rd inning happened. Been hitless since that 2nd inning. 2 walks, one of which a hit-by pitch that Parker administered before dealing with the next 3 batters in a row, Waring, Gosden, Rodriguez. Waring was a strikeout victim, as Cade Ahern will try and level that out and get the first hit against Parker this season as the 0-1 softly grounded right side. It's going to roll up the line fair, and that is the first hit of the season against Parker, and boy, is it a cruel one as it rolls perfectly up the line, the swinging bunt.
Well, Parker was in position to collect that out there, and it looked like it was, for all intents and purposes, it looked like it was just about to drift to the right, and it didn't. It just kept rolling, and it actually just slowly rolled straight into the base there, but way behind the runner who was fortuitous on it.
Such is the game of baseball, as Brian Scott, left fielder, who's 1 for 2 tonight, had his 4th RBI of the season. First one that was from a hit, another swinging bunt collected by Gramsty. Throw to first is in time. They considered a second base option, but we'll just get the out comfortably at the first base bag. 2-3 put out. We'll bring up Zakai Hawkins. It's 2 swinging bunts in a row, Zach.
Yeah, and I will say, even with one of them being able to reach, Parker looks very much more in control already in this inning. He has been hitting the zone with that pitch, and it's really hard to make good contact when he's blowing it that fast by in the zone.
5-3. Parker misses low. It is a dugout first pitch curve, as good scoop by Gramsty there to make sure it doesn't go anywhere else.
That one just maybe drops a little too quickly. It's a good pitch from Parker.
1-0 lined on the ground into right field. It will be the runner at third stopping, so corners with 1 out, a second hit against Parker as nobody on first. Let Zakai Hawkins try and get an extra lead to try and get himself basically into a pickle to score a run there, but Gramsty has been in that situation before, and a very smart job by him to hold on to that ball.
Yeah, gets his chest in front of the ball there, Gramsty, and make sure to keep the ball down and in front of him in order to stop a Cropduster run from being scored there. But corners now for Parker, who gave up a pretty big contact on the last one, obviously with the speed he can deliver.
First pitch in there. Strike called on Ryan Bouma, designated hitting all-star. Bouma, a big bat. A lot of boom in that bat, you could say, as 5 home runs this season, 20 RBIs, 0-1 to him now as pickoff back to first. Hawkins dives back in time. Bouma, a rising senior at Frostburg State. An OBP of 495 they would like to see exercised here. Hawkins goes, they step off, get him at second base. No, they don't. Try to get him at second base, excuse me, as the tag is late. Parker got off pretty quickly, and the man at third, Ahern, is not quick enough to be stealing home there.
Yeah, and that a little bit of a weird play that seemed to make the play on the bag first and not go for the man. And obviously on a steal needs to get the man first.
Yeah, not a force. 0-1, it's a high breaking ball and a 1-1 count. Bouma, 2 runners in scoring position. The tying run in this top of the 7th at second. Jewish Heritage Night at the ballpark. Apologies for not mentioning that. Team Israel representatives here. 1-1. Lined foul. 2023 Israel baseball came here on a stop during their tour of warm-up games for the 2023 World Baseball Classic.
Well, I don't know if this was on your 2026 season Big Train bingo cord, but Bunt was lifted up in the chair during the hora that was danced in between an inning here.
That happened. 1-2, did not know that was going to happen. We had been ad-libbed into the script. As I read over it, don't remember seeing anything about that, but fans here loved it. 2-2 as that one misses.
Obviously a lot of Jewish heritage in this part of the county here. Some really important players.
Strike 3 looking, and the 5th pitch to Bouma is one that he is caught looking on. I guess is a good segue to the number 5, which is retired here for Hank Greenberg. The first ever openly Jewish players in MLB history. Took a lot of verbal abuse and threats.
First baseman.
All-time great.
Retired here at the Big Train as he is a pillar of multicultural baseball. As owner Bruce Adams is a big advocate for that in this area, as well as youth development of baseball.
Roberto Clemente, as well as Jackie Robinson's number retired. A couple of important firsts. 0-1, and did he go? They say he did. 0-2 count quickly for Cade Walter, the center fielder.
Big moment here from Parker, who has his batter down in an 0-2 count, can deliver a strike that will end his inning.
Parker fastball misses high, 1-2. Third strikeout of the game was Ryan Bouma last time. Now he's looking for his third. 1-2. Outside. A lot of retired numbers here. Hank Greenberg, Cal Ripken Sr., 5 and 7, 11 for Hunter Renfroe, arguably the greatest player in franchise history. Roberto Clemente for 21. Bruce's son, number 40, holds a lot of records here. He pitched here since he was 16. 2-2. As a swing and a miss, foul tip, but held on to by Gramesty. He waves at that one as Parker sits him down to end the inning. 5-3 the lead maintained. 2 runners stranded again, and a good relief outing from Parker goes 2 innings again on the Big Train Baseball Network as we stretch on Jewish Heritage Night. So Big Train Baseball Network 5-3 lead for Bethesda. Sean McCabe, the left-handed pitcher out of VMI, is a transfer portal commit there. He will be a replacement not for directly Grayson Fitzwater, but the greatest VMI cadet in history drafted today to the White Sox in round 13.
McCabe for the Cropdusters played in 5 games, all relieving appearances for them, 10 innings pitched, just ERA of 6.3, a whip 1.4, 7 earned runs he's given up so far, and 13 strikeouts to combat that. So some ups and downs for his relieving appearances with the Cropdusters. They're hoping that he can deliver a good one here as they are trying to come back from a 2-run deficit, still down 3-5. The Cropdusters are here at the Big Train home of Shirley Povich.
So 5-3 lead maintained so far as Emilio Gonzalez, the first baseman, I believe will be pinch hit for by Casey Carpenter. He'll replace him here now.
Casey Carpenter had a 2-for-3 night with 3 RBI last night against the Aces in a 9-0 victory. So was the hot bat there and hoping he can continue his good streak here tonight.
2 doubles, right?
2 doubles.
Make sure I heard you right. 1-1 count from McCabe. Former Gaithersburg Giant has moved around Moco to the likes of Olney as that pitch is in there. 1-2. St. John's Christian graduate in Fairfax, Virginia. Not Fairfax. 6'2", 195 righty. Bats lefty. Does not throw righty. Apologies, I said that wrong earlier. 1-2. Big wave. Carpenter not tuned yet as his pinch hit appearance does not go the way he's hoped. A strikeout to start his day.
Maybe Gonzalez hurting still a little bit from the hit by pitch that had him shaken up there, so they went with Carpenter. Was very good last night, not able to get a hit in his appearance there. Now Malvazio up for the Big Train.
So it'll end the day for Austin Weiss, who gets through with only 3 walks, but a pretty uncomfortable day for Weiss as he did load the bases.
Yeah,
It was a clean sheet, though. No earned runs. Excuse me, I apologize.
No, you're good. Left it a little nervous for Cropduster fans back home, but ended up coming through and delivering a very good job. Doesn't give up any runs. Malvazio, 2 strikes down. That one does find the zone. He struck out looking in 3 straight strikes to Zach Malvazio.
Bit of extra excitement from the catcher Springmeyers. He just throws that one in the outfield on the throw around, but a strikeout nevertheless. This one looking as you mentioned, and bat froze on the shoulders. Ryan Foscolo now up to bat. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Kentucky redshirt will take this first pitch on a ride to center, but not a good one for Bethesda. As a 5-3 lead maintained, but 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the 7th. We'll go to the top of the 8th. 5-3. Nobody scoring since the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network, and the 6'8" right-hander Parker back on the mound for his third inning of work. One of a lot of tall pitchers, matching the likes of Yuri Perez, a very tall man for the Marlins, as well as Felix Bautista, nicknamed the Mountain pretty aptly, and Tyler Glasnow. Now, I don't know if Yuri Perez is 6'8". He is 6'8". I actually didn't know that.
Well, you do see a lot of pitchers with pretty tall frames. As you mentioned, it punches the ball into the zone pretty well, but 6'8" is definitely on the higher end of even MLB pitchers. There's not too many who are able to reach quite those heights as he delivers a strike into the zone. Big swing at it for an opening strike to 6'8" man on the mound for the Big Train, Aiden Parker.
And interestingly, at that height, it's very difficult to be as good as a guy who's maybe 6'5", as you can have mechanical leaks, sometimes they call it. The motion has to be far more complex, and what Parker has that a lot of guys at his height do not is a very calm, easy swing motion, or easy throw motion that is not too complex. He kind of shrinks himself as he throws, but he does keep his arm extended, which is a good thing. You see it with guys like Sean Hagel, who was 6'11", I think, for the Giants a couple years back. Just a very leaky mechanical motion that you saw his arm the whole way through, and you could basically see it was not long enough for major leaguers could see the pitch he was throwing from his hand, just because he had to throw so far outside, and it led to injuries. A lot of command issues tend to be the problem. The other tallest pitcher who you think, 6'10", Randy Johnson, is one of those guys who's very good, as the 2-2 is missed low for 3-2. Command issues the case tonight for Parker, who has only allowed 2 hits tonight, but 0 prior to this ball game. But it was walks that really did the damage against him, even though he's not allowed to run. So full count inside, and that was a 2-2. Now a full count to Landon Springmeyer.
Scoreboard off 1 here at Charlie Povich, but now it is a full count.
I was busy reading tallest pitchers in Major League history. 3-2. Ground ball up the middle. Going to be a tough play for Johnson, but Springmeyer not quick enough for that one. Definitely take some of the difficulty off that when you're throwing to a guy like Springmeyer, whose sole, I think, benefit with his bat does not come with his legs. It is a long way he can hit that ball. He's not going to create hits for you on the ground, but he will create some extra bases to make up for that, as he has this season an all-star moniker.
Enjoying here the tropical orange cleats of the man up to bat now for the Cropdusters.
Maximus Waring
is wearing some really nice cleats tonight.
I almost went there.
It was low-hanging tropical fruit.
A hardy durian. I could not think of any other tropical fruit.
I was thinking like mango and peach are like the colors that would be around those fruits.
I mean, I guess that's got some hardy durian in there. 1-1 as Waring fouls this one off of Gramesty. Umpire trying to give Gramesty a moment, but just wants to throw it back to his pitcher and keep him in a rhythm.
I would take like a citrus as an acceptable answer there.
Gramesty taking a second.
A mandarin orange.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like an orange is very tropical, but I guess the climate in Florida is tropical. It's the orange state. I don't really know if it's the orange state, but they have orange on the license plate. 1-2. Fouled backwards. I know a lot of license plates. My favorite one is New Mexico's black, red, and green one.
I will say my Arches National Park, Utah one
is pretty sick. I did note that.
It's up there.
I liked it a lot. I cut you off there because I was excited about your nose. 1-2. Did he go? Yes, he did. So a strikeout swinging. Waring goes down. 4th K of the night for Parker, as they've just pretty much parked the bus here on defense. 5 straight innings without a run or a hit. And only 1 hit, for this side of Olney.
Well, Parker with a kind of unconventional but actually very good relieving appearance so far. Has not allowed a run so far. That ball is painted into the zone.
You could say he was the Parker of the bus. 0-1. You mentioned a very good pitch in the low outside corner. Ground ball left side. Johnson comes up with it. Throw to first. Can't be scooped by the new first baseman Carpenter. It is collected by Gramisty, however, who is a good job of getting that. It'll go down as an E6 due to the throw being on the ground. Tough play for Johnson on the speedy Gosden, where he scored tonight. As Donis Rodriguez, the even quicker infielder, second baseman, will come up 0 for 3.
We mentioned there how the speed of the base runner can actually very much affect the throw, as Johnson effective on the last one. They checked that one down the line.
He did go.
He did not. He did go.
Sometimes they'll point that way and it'll mean swing. I think he means when you point and he has a finger out, it's going to be a strike. If he's got his hand fully out, that means he's appealing. But if it's one finger, it's a strike on a swing. 0-1. That one missed. Gramisty does well to dig it out.
A very slow strike motion, so it almost looked like he was gesturing down the line.
Yeah. It's always curious. Umpires different habits, and on Wednesday we had some pretty slow strike calls, which was interesting. I called some balls because I just thought they were balls, and he ended up calling them strikes just because he was not as quick to it as other umps, which I appreciate. Get the call right. 1-1 is a pickoff back to first. Gosden is safe. Westchester, second baseman, to be tailed by now the Millersville. Donis Rodriguez on the 1-1 count. Bunt attempt. The drag bunt, however, not able to get down as it misses a bit low. Parker nearly got him in the shins.
Came forward pretty far in the batter's box there in order to try and lay down a bunt. The ball too far outside of the zone in order to make contact.
2-1. Missed high, and control still an issue a little bit for Parker in his last inning of work, likely. Curious to see who comes up next, but he's gone pretty deep into some of these games. 3 innings in his last start. 50 pitch count. 3-1. That one missing high, and Donis Rodriguez is on for the first time. He does have an RBI on the fielder's choice, but it'll be his first time reaching, as it's a pitch that is just not in there.
Well, Parker a little bit hot and cold as we will take a mound visit here.
Coach Lopez will have a brief talk with Parker. What do you say to your big right-hander on the mound? If you're Lopez.
I think maybe even telling him, like, hey, we're giving you this inning, finish it out like you got this, and trusting him to get this final strikeout, and maybe just a little bit of confidence boost will help him find the control, and maybe even just a second to breathe there from the coach will allow him to kind of just set his feet under him and get that big breath to control his pitches, because when he has, it has been excellent throws across the board when he's able to have that control.
Yeah, find your groove. As saw that hit earlier from a Hearn, went right up the line. Little swinging bunt was the first hit of the season given up by Parker. Friday delivers. That one in there. It's a great off speed on the inside portion of the plate. Oh, 1 for Parker. Big wave, and quickly Hearn finds himself down 0-2 against the big right-hander.
Mound visit paying off here as Parker looks cool and collected, ahead in the count 0-2.
Outside fastball. Hearn does well to lay off of it. The Lehigh University product will be returning in his freshman year to the Lehigh Valley School. The 1-2 for Parker. Broken bat right up the middle, drifting down. Runner will go from third, and they will not have time to catch anybody. Hack will just throw it in, and the first run conceded all season on one that Ahern pieced, but his broken bat made sure it got down. An RBI single for the young first baseman.
Well, a disadvantageous bat break from the Cropdusters. It's actually makes it harder for the Big Trains to collect that out, as it takes a little bit of speed off the ball, and Will Hack not able to get underneath it as the ball does not fly as far as the bat cracked. So they do score a run, bring the lead within one. Cropdusters bring it within one.
You think back to that error by Johnson, which, I mean, it's kind of a tough play to make for either Johnson or Carpenter at first. How could have ended the inning, and since then, a walk into single. Runner still at the corners. 1-0. Roddy delivers, and that one's in there. Strike to Brian Scott, who had an RBI single in the first. 1 for 3 on the day. Or in the second, excuse me. In his first at-bat. The 1-1 now. In there. Fastball at the knees, and same pitch as last time. Scott didn't swing again, and 2 strikes. He watches go by into a tough spot now. He's going to have to try and choke up and survive.
Great pitch finds the bottom right corner of the zone. Parker delivers again.
Swing and a miss. 5th K of the night. Great outing for Parker. He does give up a run, but he maintains the lead. 5-4. Only strikes 1 with a sawed-off broken bat single from Ahern, but otherwise silence on the night. We'll be right back. 5-4. Big Train will try and hold things out one more chance before they go for the save in the top of the 9th and the bottom of the 8th. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Sean McCabe, right-hander, will have a second go at things after he went 3 up, 3 down against this Big Train lineup. Logan Panett will lead things off against the Fairfax, Virginia native. Pretty good year last year as a starter for Gaithersburg with a 4.64 ERA, but an even better one this outing. 10 innings pitched, 6.3 ERA. Hasn't been to the tune he's liked it, but a lower whip than last year, which is always better.
Yeah, and it looks really comfortable in his partnership here with Springmeyer. The ball kind of springing off both of their hands well here.
I have nothing to bounce the word Meyer off of. It's a grocery store. That one is swing and a miss from Panett, as he will try and produce something there. I did have something. I lied. 0-2. Hit well into right field into the gap. It's going to get down. Panett rounding. He will stop as it's well played by Waring to get in front of it. Could have had a dangerous play to go for the out there. Instead opts to just give him a base. That he does.
Number 1, T.J. Primacy.
Panett, who opened the scoring with an RBI walk in that 4th inning, gets a hit here to start the Big Train bats again. If they are effective here, have the chance to only need a defensive stand at the top of the 9th to end this game here.
Yeah, great day for Panett. He's 2 for 2 with 2 walks, one of which you mentioned produced an RBI as he has now TJ Gramesty, who's 0 for 1. 2 walks and an RBI walk as well to his total. Now the 1-1 from the right-hander McCabe. Belted into center field. Back on it is Walter. He gets there at the track. It's off the wall. Panette to third. They'll have to stop as they were waiting to see if it was going to be caught. And TJ Gramesty just pulverized the double.
What electric power there from Gramesty, who has really caught hold of the ball from the batter's box in recent games. Has been very effective in scoring, bringers running home, and there does a great job to advance the guy in front of him, Panette, to third. He stands on second, stand-up double there, which careened into the center field fence. Center field been the spot for big train hitters in recent games here home at Shirley Povich.
5-4 lead. They're trying to add on to it. No outs. Coleman, a double in the fourth. He's hit very well with runners in scoring position this season. Missed inside to him, nearly caught him. I think he was trying to get it to hit the elbow guard, but just missed. 5-4 with runners 6 and 7. Oof, over there, third and second. I didn't think about that.
Just numbers, Carson.
Just numbers. Righty McCabe misses high and a 2-0 count. Hitters set plate here for Coleman.
With this big train team that has caught fire from the batter's box, you really don't want to see almost anyone. And Coleman is one of those guys you definitely don't want to see when you have 2 runners in scoring positions. Now delivers 3 straight balls to Coleman, and in danger of loading the bases or giving up a big hit.
That one just in there on the 3-0. It's a fastball that catches the outside part of the zone. Good frame by Springmeyer as well, I think, to really fully sell it. 7 hits for both sides. Big Train have a chance to add on to that 5-run lead. I think the air is the big difference so far. 3-1, he hits this one high into left field. Going to be a tough play for Scott. It's going to get down, and Scott can't find it. He bobbles it once, twice, and an RBI single it will be for the likes of Coleman, his 4th of the night.
Well, if you can't hit it far, hit it high, and that's exactly what he does. Sky ball there, gets down, gets lost in the lights in the night here at Shirley Povich, brings the runner home, and one in third base. Corners now for the Big Train, who now have a 2-run lead, 6-4, Bethesda lead.
It's Will Hack, 6-4, you mentioned. Now an insurance run on the board as they'll try and get some more. James Madison, product, Will Hack. He had his teammate Luke McGrath drafted to the Cubs today in the 18th round. Righty McCabe delivers outside. He's kind of picking up some torque with his pretty violent motion as he's trying to just get out of this. Right-hander McCabe, man on first, definitely a stolen base threat as takes a bit of a larger lead. Coleman not opting to go for his first yet this season. Got to be the player of the game so far, Coleman, who's credited with 4 of these 6 runs.
Absolutely. He's been exactly what the Big Train needed him to be tonight, and been very fun to see a player who's still looking for his next school come in and have such a good summer ball ending. Will be very important for these Big Train who are looking for their 2nd, 4th peat.
3-0 count. Now, the likes of Hack. In there, strike 1 on the outside corner. Same pitch that found the zone on Coleman's 3-1.
Once again, a good frame job by Springmeyer, pulling it back into the zone and convincing the referee of that one. Excuse me, umpire.
Close enough. 3-1, and that one not close enough. Walk administered to Will Hack. Bases loaded with nobody gone. A seriously tough situation. They've got him surrounded as Adam Leader will conversate with McCabe. And there is not much you can say to a guy who is in this kind of rut to get it back. He had a 3 pitch count to Foscolo, Gramesty, and Coleman. As well as Hack, obviously, who's walked. They'll chat with him. I don't think the man in the pen is ready. It is a right-hander. Nature of these jerseys means we can't really see said number, but we'll get it to you as soon as possible as Cal Johnson, top of the 7th, or top of the 6th at a walk, but otherwise 0 for 3.
Yeah, has walked a good amount in his recent games. Hasn't had a big hit in recent matches here at Shirley Povich. Not someone you want to leave one over the plate for, though, as he certainly has home run threat and can slug that ball super well. We saw him in exhibition games first at Shirley Povich get an in-the-park home run with a big hit into left field that he tore around the bases for. So both power and speed Cal Johnson has. He will be up for the Cropduster man, who stays on the mound for now.
So McCabe will try and send a batter packing. Needs a strikeout with no outs. Missed inside. Johnson's on the first pitch. Switch hitter is batting lefty. Again, he was batting righty earlier against the left-hander Weiss, to which he saw in one inning, the 6th. That was the inning he walked. Started the season off better as a lefty. As of late, has been better as a righty. Move inside, miss. Nearly caught the elbow of Johnson, and a 3-0 count.
Johnson electing twice there to not take the hit ball there.
2-0 count, I believe, excuse me. No, that's 3-0 count. 3-1 as that pitch gets in there. You're going to definitely be putting pressure on the arm in the bullpen to start warming here, as things not looking spectacular. 3-1, missed inside, and that is a walk for Johnson of the RBI variety. A lot of RBI walks this season. He's been patient with the bases loaded. Doesn't feel like he needs to end the ball game with a swing, though he has on Father's Day, had that walk-off home run on the 21st. But 6-4, now 7-4 for the Big Train as they try and escape save range for whoever comes in.
Well, patience can be as or more important than power there, as Johnson walks and brings in a run. Stretches the lead to 3, which is kind of the beginning of territory where it becomes very difficult to earn that back in an inning, although we've seen some very crazy games between these two teams and teams in the league.
Ground ball right side. They'll go home first, try and go back to first. But Ahern did not go back to the bag. So no double play ball there, as they'll simply reach on a fielder's choice. That's the first out of the inning. They're able to catch Logan Panett.
Good call there to make the play at home first. Not able to make it into a double play there, but able to keep score at 7-4 there.
Excuse me, that was Gramesty, as this one popped up by Carpenter. Johnson on second. Third belongs to Will Hack. Not Will Hackey, as is sometimes said in other broadcasts. 0-1, sawed off. Carpenter, it's right to the pitcher. They try to go to first, and they get it! Fantastic double play ball. Keeps them within 3 runs. Good job from Olney as McCabe is able to escape the jam. Not unscathed, though. 2 runs are played. It'll be right back in the Big Train Baseball Network. 7-4 the lead now. It's Kaiser Smith, Stonewall, Louisiana native, will try and be just that, a wall. Right-handed pitcher is 25 strikeouts on the year. It's third in the league. Only starters above him with far more innings of work. Through 18, he has been fantastic. Zach, 1 ERA, a 1.06 whip, and this is not the man you want to see if you're Olney.
You don't, and this is the closer. Mentioned it last night on the Aces broadcast. This is the closer for the Big Train. This is the guy you bring in and has been absolutely solid strikeout master for the Big Train. I know as broadcasters not really supposed to have favorite players on the teams working out, but Kaiser Smith, you could probably hear it, and the broadcast this year is my favorite player on this team. He, at least from the pitching side of things, is just so fun to watch, and I love his mentality after he kind of gets fired up with bringing batters on. It really just brings a fun element to a very competitive baseball game.
He gave up a run against Olney in 2 innings in an 11-4 ball game where he did end up with the hold, as that game quickly got out of hand for Olney on June 9th. Over 30 days ago, as the first pitch misses, the leadoff man Hawkins, who hits this one right up the middle, hack-tailing under it, and a line out. As he's able to get there in time, well struck. He hasn't had quite the same punch-out stuff as he has in the earlier season, but he's been just as effective on the mound. See that there? It's a guy taking a 90-mile-an-hour fastball forward.
Few less strikeouts, as you mentioned there, from Smith, but still been able to deliver the outs for his teams, and I think he's definitely a results-based guy. He wants to do what he can for his team to win, and he's been able to do that still.
Big swing from the man behind Hawkins, the all-star Ryan Booma. You know, I do want to mention, we did have the rare 1-2-3 double play in the 8th inning. Doesn't happen too often. 0-1.
Yeah, it was a good play. They made 2 very good calls to throw it to the plate, and then on the second one able to complete the double play.
That one missing. Big Train left bases stranded with loaded twice tonight. I guess technically did not leave them stranded, as one of the outs was at home, as the 0-1 is skied into right field. Going to be a difficult play. Malvazio calls them off, though, and just enough air under it for the second out of the inning, and the Cropdusters down to their final out tonight.
Final out here. The Big Train look to get a game and a half ahead on the Cropdusters. We are in the final stretches of this game. A big bottom of the 4th for the Big Train put them up 5-3 after early scoring by the Cropdusters, as we face could be the last batter of this game.
First pitch outside to Cade Walter. Didn't talk about the end of the day for Parker, but 3 hits allowed and 3 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, or 5 strikeouts, 2 walks in a run. 1-0, a big wave at a fastball that was on the inside portion. Walter nowhere near that thing. That run unearned, by the way, from Parker. So he continues his season well with the air. 1-1 is a slider on the inside corner. Did not get Walter to bite. The Dolphin is very smart, as he's played his last season at Jacksonville. Will continue to go back in the fall.
And I had a very nerdy reference to make about your smart Dolphin comment.
2-2.
Anyone who's
or 3-1, excuse me.
Seen or read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy understand my reference there.
I have not read it. I've been told to. You actually told me to already this season.
Did.
3-1. Inside, and a walk administered. Smith is definitely no stranger to runners on the Beltway for him, as more and more traffic has just been the name of the game, as he's kind of gotten himself into more jams. But as he's been more efficient, he's actually had a bit of a worse outcome, because he has not been striking guys out as much. But he's been a great closer nevertheless. Did not pitch enough. I think only pitched 8 pitches last night, which lets him come into today's game at a pretty low inning, or pretty low pitch limit. But 7-4. Cropdusters down to their final out. Base runner on first. That one missing low. First pitch to the the cleanup hitter, Springmeyer.
Smith taking a second, taking a breath, trying to find his rhythm here to end the inning. Pickoff attempt. It's unsuccessful.
Springmeyer 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and a hit by pitch. Be 1-0 now. Righty Kaiser Smith, it's a good breaking ball. Does find the zone. Springmeyer gets it.
Inside bottom corner. One of the toughest pitches to hit in baseball. Just definitely in a tough place to swing at.
Springmeyer and 1,000 OPS on the year, sub 600 versus this Big Train. 1-1 up the middle. This could do it, and it does. Big Train wins 7-4, courtesy of Kaiser Smith with the save. A great team win as some insurance run not needed in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Great pitching performances from Smith as well as Parker to go the last 4. Stolby start 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, and only 2 earned runs the entire day for this side. 2 errors on the side of Bethesda. They still managed to come out with the lead, Zach, and you just got to be proud of this squad, who is now 11-1 in their last 12.
Dropped 1 game to the Senators there to lose the winning streak, but they have bounced back perfectly from it. A great win against the Aces tonight, and they take down the 2nd place in the league to keep their lead alive. Big Train bats continue to stay hot, and the pitching joins them tonight. Great team win by the Big Train.
A game and a half ahead now of the Olney Cropdusters, who are the only real rival here in the other half of this. We'll probably be seeing a championship matchup potentially here at Shirley Povich. At least that's my prediction. We'll definitely see more of these Cropdusters here on the Big Train Baseball Network. Thank you for watching. I'm Carson Cass with Zach Lewis. Have a great night. Be kind.